You ever notice how some people walk into work like they own the place, chin high, coffee in hand, ready to gossip before 9 a.m.? And then there are folks like Liana Monroe. Liana didn't make noise. She didn't wear flashy heels or drip designer perfume down the hallway. She walked in quiet. Same old gray coat, same beat-up tote bag, and the kind of worn-out sweater that screamed comfort over couture. But in the halls of Westfield and Thorne PR, a Chicago firm where image was worshipped, like gospel, that made her a target. Now let me tell you something right off the bat. On that gray Friday morning, they went too far. And by the time the clock hit 4 p.m., every single one of them regretted it, because Liana's billionaire husband walked in, dead silent, and fired the entire floor. Yeah, that happened. But let me back up a sec. Liana had been at that firm for 3 years, always early, always polite, always producing results. But you know how it goes. Some folks don't see value in you unless you wear it on your sleeve. And Liana, she kept hers quiet, real quiet. Not a single soul there knew she was married to Mason Monroe. Yes, that. Mason Monroe, tech giant, media tycoon, Forbes cover, kinda rich. But that wasn't how Liana rolled. She didn't use his name. She didn't even take it when they got married. She wanted to earn her place, make her mark on her own terms. And for a while, she thought she could until Jessica Blair showed up. Jessica wasn't management. Hell, she barely made quota. But she had something more powerful in that office than performance clout. Blonde, loud, and legacy hired. Jessica ran her little clique like a high school mean girls club. Her sidekicks, Tyler, too slick for his own good, and Monica, who could weaponize a whisper like a grenade. From the moment Jessica laid eyes on Liana, it was open season. Did Goodwill sponsor your wardrobe? Sweetie, that was Monday. By Wednesday, Tyler was joking about seeing her at the bus stop, panhandling. Monica. She started snapping photos of Liana's old canvas bag and tagging it Hobo Core on her stories. Laughs erupted around her like landmines. And you know the worst part. The boss saw it all. Martin Crane, middle-aged, balding, thinks sarcasm is a leadership style. He'd just smirk and sip his coffee like it was all entertainment. But that Friday, that's when things went nuclear. Liana had just placed her final pitch report on her desk, a week's worth of late nights and data she'd crunched like a machine. It was spotless, ready for a board review the next day. Jessica walked by with her overpriced iced mocha, and oops. The coffee slipped. Right across every single page. Charts melted, ink bled. The pitch, the one she stayed up 3 nights to finish, gone in seconds. Jessica giggled like a child at a puppet show. Guess your luck ran out, huh? Maybe try laminating next time. Tyler and Monica howled. Martin. He didn't even pretend to care. Just peeked over his monitor and said, maybe bring a backup next time. Liana. And that was it. Liana stood there, shoulders soaked, hands trembling, but her eyes. Man, her eyes didn't cry. They calculated. She didn't say a word. She just walked to the break room, shut the door, stared at her reflection for a long, silent minute, and made one phone call. Mason picked up on the second ring. He didn't ask questions, didn't need to. Just said, stay there, I'm on my way. And Liana, she didn't say, please come. She just said, okay, I'll wait. The office went on mocking like nothing happened. Jessica did a dramatic reenactment of the coffee splash. Tyler filmed it. Monica was already typing a caption. Just Friday, things. Disgusting. But then, the elevator dinged, and Mason Monroe walked in. Now, I don't mean he entered, I mean he commanded. Black coat, sharp eyes, presence so heavy the air changed. You could feel it. The room went still. Even Martin stood up. You could almost hear the gears turning in his head as he connected the dots between Liana and Monroe. Jessica blinked first. Can we help you, sir? Mason didn't even look at her. He walked to Liana, touched her shoulder gently, then turned to the room with a calm that chilled the floor. I want everyone's attention. Silence. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. I've just watched several of you harass my wife on camera, publicly, repeatedly, cruelly, and not one of you stopped it, including you, Mr. Crane." Martin went pale. Jessica stammered. "We were just joking, it wasn't personal." Mason's tone didn't change. Dumping coffee on a woman's work, mocking her clothes, calling her names. You call that joking? You think filming someone's humiliation is funny? Tyler tried to interject. She never said anything. We thought she was fine with it. Mason snapped back. Maybe she didn't lash out because she's stronger than all of you combined. Maybe she thought she could rise above your pathetic behavior. And maybe, just maybe, she didn't want to stoop to your level. Then came the line that hit like a gavel. "But I will." And just like that, Mason fired them all. Jessica, Tyler, Monica, even Martin Dunn. Effective immediately. Security was already on standby. Their badges were deactivated before Mason even stepped foot in the building. Jessica screamed, Tyler cursed, Monica cried. Martin tried to save face, claiming he didn't know, but Mason didn't flinch. "You're the manager. Ignorance isn't an excuse. It's a failure of leadership. You allowed this. You're gone." And then, just as the elevator doors were closing on the mess they made, Jessica shouted, "This is all your fault. Liana, you think you're better than us because your husband's rich." Mason stepped between them. "You don't get to speak to my wife ever again. You destroyed your own careers. She gave you kindness. You gave her cruelty. We're done here." After that, the office stood in stunned silence. But it didn't end there. Later that night, Jessica posted a long-winded apology on Instagram, one of those I've learned from my mistakes essays. Nobody bought it. Tyler blacklisted across every agency in the city. No firm wanted a scandal on payroll. Monica lost her influencer gigs faster than you can say brand safety. Martin, last I heard. He tried to sue for wrongful termination. Didn't go well. But Liana. She didn't celebrate. She didn't gloat. She packed her things quietly and left that building with her head held higher than ever. And she didn't go back to being just a cog in a corporate machine. She started her own boutique PR firm on her own name. Her own merit. Mason offered help, sure. But Liana designed every inch of it herself. She hired women of color. She mentored young professionals who'd been overlooked. She launched an initiative to support victims of workplace discrimination. Mason funded it. Liana ran it. And as her voice grew louder, people listened. Civil rights groups invited her to speak. Universities asked for her insight. Every time she shared her story, she reminded people, silence protects no one. That real change begins with the courage to say, that's not okay. One afternoon, she got a call from an old coworker, Emily. She wasn't one of the bullies. Just one of the quiet ones, Emily said. "I saw what they did. I should have said something. I'm sorry." Liana didn't hang up. She didn't rage. She just said, "Thank you. Don't stay silent again." Months passed. One night, Liana stood by her apartment window, lights of the city twinkling below, Mason's arm around her, and she whispered, "I never wanted revenge. I just wanted the world to see who I really was. Not the clothes, not the bag, me." And Mason said, "They see you now, and I always did." So here's the thing. This story isn't just about a woman who got the last laugh. It's about why she had to fight for dignity in the first place. About how cruelty hides behind jokes, and how silence can be just as loud as hate. So tell me, what would you have done if you were in that office? Would you have laughed, stayed quiet, or stood up? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Was Mason right to fire them on the spot? Or should people be given a second chance after crossing the line? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about justice, about dignity, and what it really means to earn respect.